Following on from the previous movie, we're going to talk about anchored objects, which are very similar to inline objects. You just have a lot more control over the positioning of them. So let me select this image here. I'll cut it, Controller Command X, and I'll come over here just before Nachos, insert my cursor at the beginning, and Controller Command V to paste in. Now you'll notice my image went all over the place, all the text disappeared, and the reason being the text frame just isn't big enough. So let me make it a little bit bigger. I'm only going to make it a tad bigger here so that we can see it up here. So I'll select the object here and go to Object, Anchored Object, Options. Here we've got an inline object, but I'm going to choose Custom. It immediately shifted over here, and now we can apply some of these options to it. So first of all is the reference point. It's referencing at the lower right. We can put it to the middle, the right, the left, and you can see it's over to the left where it is there. I'm just going to leave it where it is, and we're going to come down here and look at the anchored position. Now if you have this item here checked, keep within top bottom column boundaries, you're going to find that some of these movements, nothing happens when you click on them like this. So I'm just going to turn this off, and you can see already it's letting the Y offset release it beyond the column because this isn't checked. So here we can change the reference point relative to the text frame, the anchor marker, column edge, etc. Let's see what the reference is. When we move it here, it goes centered, right, centered, left. Relative to text frame, relative to the column edge, not much difference there in this example, but relative to the page margin, you can see how it moves relative to the page margin or to the page edge itself. There it actually is dropping off the page because this side is here, but we can just position it to the center or to the right of the page like that. I'm just going to do all my references to the frame that it's contained. And I'm going to do the same down here for the y-axis. So it moves over there, it's centered on it. And here we can adjust the offset. So I can type in the figures or just nudge it till I get it where I want it. So we've got the X offset over there, and we'll change the Y offset. I'll go in the other direction. If I hold down the shift, it'll move at 1/4 of an inch at a time. Get it close, and then I can just nudge it in there. Maybe 6/9, like that, and there it's positioned right beside this. Now let me just click on OK. I can prevent manual positioning here. I'm not going to do that for this example here, but if I didn't want to move it, as I can here like this, I could have just clicked in that box and it would have been locked there. Now let me resize my frame here like this. Now when I move this, look how that graphic moves with it like that. Over there and back to where it was. Now let's select it, and we'll go back in here and take a look at one of the options that we skipped over, and that's this one, relative to spine, like this. And I'll click on OK. Notice the reference point is we've got 2 pages here in both instances of this. So now when I move this, watch what happens. I'll just move it over to the other page here. It moves away from the spine. Move it here. It moves back, always away from the spine. Now obviously you could change it so that it moves towards the spine, and we'll look at that in the next movie, as well as some of the other options we can now do to automate this process with all these images.